Hello YouTube, I'm your Huckleberry, and this is the CRKT Ruger Incendiary. Let's get into some specifications here, shall we? All right, we are looking at a 7-inch overall length with a 3-inch blade length. The blade thickness on this guy is going to be 0.15 inches. I never know how to say that. 0.15 inches is what I'm going to say, and if I'm wrong, so be it. Okay, we got a 8CR13 MOV blade steel, which is of course in a Tanto blade shape. It does have a hollow grind in this black stonewash finish. It is a stainless steel frame lock, and the clip is positioned for right hand tip up or left hand tip up. This is as you can see there, this is a Carter design, and that Carter is referring to Robert Carter. This is one of his designs, and the scale here, of course, pays homage to his custom design called the Key Mod, with kind of that keyhole milling there that looks good. I like it. It's interesting. It's interesting. And this does run on Teflon washers, and it is made in China. All right, let's get a weight for you guys. Let's see what this guy weighs. Here we go. Come on. There we go. Here we go. It's going to come in at right around 4.8 ounces. So if you're someone who subscribes to the, like I do, to the 1 ounce for every 1 inch of blade length, this guy is over that by about 1.8 ounces. So that's, you know, it's a little bit heavy, a little bit chunky, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with a little chunk sometimes. But okay, let's do some size comparisons. Here it is against the full-size Benchmade Griptilian. As you can see there, the Griptilian is going to be quite a bit longer in terms of overall length and have a little bit more blade length to it. And the Griptilian is also going to be probably slightly chunkier in hand as well with that handle there. Let's look at it butt to butt. Actually, you know what? Yeah, maybe just slightly, just ever so slightly chunkier for the Griptilian, but not too much. And here it is against the Kershaw Leak, excuse me. And as you can see, in terms of overall length and blade length, it's about dead on. It's about the same size. Now, of course, this is going to be a lot thinner in the hand and lighter, but just in terms of overall length and blade length, it's very similar. Here it is against the Paramilitary 2, as you can see there. And again, in terms of overall length and blade length, the PM2 is going to be larger. In terms of handle thickness, just about dead on. Just about the same there, as you can see. So if you have a PM2, in terms of handle girth, I guess we would say, the Incendiary is going to feel pretty similar. And finally, here it is against the Ontario Rat Model 2. And again, in terms of overall length and blade length, very similar, but thinner handles here and lighter weight. Okay, let's get into some of the pros and cons of the Incendiary. The first thing, the thing that drew me to this overall, you know, before anything else, was the aesthetics of it. It's a good-looking knife to me. I like the way that it looks. I like the design. I saw this on Dr. Frunke's Instagram. I believe he got one into review, and I saw it on his Instagram. He's a good YouTube reviewer, by the way, so go subscribe to him and follow him on Instagram. Just look up Dr. Frunke, and you will find him. I saw it on his, and I was immediately drawn to it. You know, because I could tell right off that this was, at least, I didn't know if it was a Robert Carr design, but it was at least based off one of his designs or something, because of that Tanto blade. Tanto, Tonto, Tomato, Tomato. However you say it, I say Tanto. Because that's kind of what he uses, is that kind of, I don't know, I call it an aggressive Tanto. And so I really like that. You know, Robert Carter, he's a custom knife maker, and his customs go for a lot of money. He even has kind of a mid-tech line, which goes in the $400 to $500 range. So not inexpensive by any means. You know, it's I have a large Sabenza, so it's not like I haven't spent that on a knife before. And I've always liked his designs, but, you know, there's always just been, you know, one or two others that kind of got in the way before I got to one of his. But this, I believe, and you can let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong, this, I believe, is his first kind of budget option. The first kind of budget knife that he's allowed one of his designs to be used for, which is great because I like his designs. I like his design language. I think this is an attractive knife. You know, with the milling on the scales, you know, it's not just a black slab of aluminum. You get some interesting milling there, which I like a lot and I appreciate. So that's good. That's kind of just the very first thing that drew me to this knife, was that it looked good to me. The second thing, which is this is shocking, absolutely shocking to me, is that the action is good. It has a good action, and because it's running on Teflon. You know, whenever I get a CRKT or Kershaw, or, you know, another knife that's in the, you know, $40 to $50 range that's made in China, not that they're bad knives, but usually the first thing that I expect to do is take it apart, clean it up, put some knife pivot lube in there, or whatever your lubrication of choice is, because it usually comes from the factory dirty and it needs a little help to get that action to be halfway decent. That was not the case with this. I took it out of the box, bought it brand new from Blade HQ, took it out of the box and flicked it open a few times and was like, huh, that action is actually good. And it about floored me. I couldn't believe that the action was good on this. But they must have gotten the lubrication right from the factory, which is shocking because that's usually not something that they get right a lot. But they got it right here. And I don't know if it's just my example that I just got a good one, or if they're all this way. So if you have an Incendiary, let me know down in the comments below if your action was good out of the box, because mine was. And so that was great. I still don't like Teflon, but I mean, if you're going to do it, at least get the lubrication right and get it to where it has that halfway decent action, and this does. So that's great. It also had a good edge out of the box as well. The blade stock's a little bit thicker than what I usually prefer, at 0.15 inches. But you know what? It's got the hollow grind on it, and it slices decent, and the edge was pretty sharp. And so it had a decent edge on it. So good job there too. Also, CRKT Ruger, good job on that. I do like that it's a thumb disc opener, because I get tired of the constant barrage of flippers. And I do like that it's not even a thumb stud opener, but it's a thumb disc opener, because that's something a little bit different. And the thumb disc is well done. Excuse me. You get definitely enough to get your thumb up under there easily on either side. It does have like this coin edge there, which I like, which again allows for a better purchase. And it makes it ambidextrous, because, you know, of course, that thumb disc makes it ambidextrous to open, and the clip can be flipped. So this is a pretty ambidextrous knife. Of course, it's still, you know, a right-hand frame lock, but, you know, lefties are used to that by now. And so it does make it a pretty ambidextrous knife, which I like a lot. It does have a solid lockup. There is no play in any direction. And as you can see, the lockup there is good. And it's solid, which is great. I do like that. The lock bar is easy to access and easy to disengage, especially even with someone with a big old thumb like mine. It's easy to get into, it's easy to disengage, makes it easy to close. That is great. It does have, I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, Not really, but right there, it does have an internal over travel stop, which I like a lot. I like that it's there, and I like that it's internal, because then it doesn't mess up the aesthetics on the show side of the side that's going to show of the knife. But you still get the benefits of a over travel stop, which I really like on a frame lock. And so that's great. That's really good. It is a good overall size at 7 inches overall with a 3-inch blade. So I like the size of it a lot. I like that they didn't make it a monster, or they didn't make it tiny. I think this is a good. If it was a little bit lighter, it would be a really good carry size. But in terms of length and blade length, it's a good carry size. I do like this notch at the top of the blade. Because there is no jimping, because there's really not a place for jimping on this one. But I do like that they provided this notch here, because when you have that notch there, it allows for more controlled cuts. And especially with this kind of I call it an aggressive tanto there, when you're doing maybe some push cuts, it allows for better control that way as well. So that notch I have found to be useful. I like that notch a lot. It carries, like I was saying, it carries pretty well. I do like that it has black hardware. If you're going to do the black wash on the blade and the lock side with the black aluminum scale, I do like that they provided black hardware for it as well. Just went all the way with it. And it looks, like I said in the beginning, it looks really good. It's a good looking knife. There are a few drawbacks. One, of course, I've kind of mentioned it a couple times, being the weight. It's a little bit chunky for me. I wish that it had some milling. I wish that maybe this were G10, so to lighten it up some. But it's, like I said, it's not bad overall. I still like it. It's not a deal breaker by any means. But I do wish it were a little bit lighter. The scale on the aluminum side, the aluminum scale is a little bit sharp. A little bit sharp. Not to the point where it's uncomfortable. And here it is in my extra large hands. Not to the point that it's uncomfortable. But it is, it could have been rounded off a little bit better on the top and bottom here. On the stainless steel lock bar side, it's great. It's not sharp at all. It's well rounded. Nothing there to speak of. But just the aluminum scale is a little bit sharp. They could have done a little bit better job rounding that off. Just kind of getting back to the sides there. Here it is in my extra large hand. And so, but that could have been done a little bit better. My biggest complaints are going to be twofold. One, even though the action is really good on this, I still do not care for Teflon washers. I do not care for Teflon washers. But there they are. This does have Teflon washers, and the blade steel, 8CR, 13 MOV. Why? Why? And especially, the Teflon washers are becoming more and more inexcusable to me, even as a cost-cutting measure, because you have something like the Civivi Paraxis, which is 9CR, 18 MOV. So I'm no math major, but that is 1 CR and 5 MOVs more than this one. Not that it really matters, but anyway, there it is. But the thing with this one, this comes in right around the same price, that $43 mark. You're getting bearings, stainless steel bearings. And if I can get bearings for $43, for around $40, $50, I for darn sure should be able to get phosphor bronze. Not that this needs bearings, because it's not, it's not a flipper or anything. It doesn't necessarily need bearings, but man, can I get phosphor bronze for my $43? Because this guy has bearings for about the same price. So why can't I get phosphor bronze here? And also, the steel wheel mini cut jack comes in D2 for around the same price. So why can I not get, D2? If this had D2 and phosphor bronze, phosphor bronze washers, wow, this would be an absolutely fantastic knife. I really like it as it is, But you give me D2. I mean, go ahead, kick the price up to $50, $55. Fine, whatever. But you give me phosphor bronze washers and D2 steel, and I'm in love with this knife. In love. I like it a whole heck of a lot as it is. But you give me those two things, and I am in love with this knife. It would be a hands down recommendation. It's a recommendation anyway, because I like the design. This is the cheapest that you can get into a Robert Carter design that I know of, so I like it anyway. But man, you give me those two things, and it is just thumbs up. I'm fawning over it, because that would be great. And they can do it. You can do it, CRKT, for the price. You can do it because Civivi can do it. Still Will can do it. If they can do it, you can do it. Come on. It's time to step up now. It's time to, and I know I seem like I ran about this I've ranted about this in several videos, but it's time to step up and give us some better materials for the price. But anyway, even beyond that, even with the Teflon and the HCR 13 MOV, it's still a good knife, and I still recommend it, especially if you like the design. If you like a Robert Carter design, if you like the way this looks, get this knife. Because overall, despite its drawbacks, it's a good knife. It is. I've enjoyed using it. I've enjoyed carrying it. I enjoy looking at it. Overall, it's a good knife. So that's going to do it for this review, guys. If you enjoyed it, give me a big old thumbs up. If you hated it, give me a big old thumbs down. It's okay either way. We can still be friends. Like, comment, let me know down in the comments if you have this knife, if you like this knife, if you want this knife. If you hated this review, if you have any kind of constructive criticism, let me know down in the comments below. I enjoy reading those and responding to them. And whatever you do, subscribe. Go ahead and hit that subscribe, because I got a lot more knife reviews coming up. I got some gear reviews that are going to be coming up here shortly. And I'm sure I'm going to have something that you will find interesting. So go ahead, hit that subscribe, hit that little notification bell, and that way you'll be notified every time I release a new video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.